Hey everybody, it's Tony with Big T Bariatric, and I'm back at you with another video. Today it is Tuesday, March 28th, 2023. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I cannot believe that we are at the end of March already, and we are almost to April. And looking at the long-range forecast, at least here in Michigan where I'm at, it looks like some nice weather is coming. We're finally going to be hitting some 60 degrees by the end of this week and into next week, so I'm excited. I love 60-degree weather. That's perfect weather for opening up the windows and airing it out. And let's just say it's gotten kind of dusty in here since everything's been closed up all winter long. So I love when winter transitions to spring and we start getting those 60s and then 70-degree weather. So that is on the way here. But I know for most of you who live in different parts of the country or even the world, everybody's got different weather, and you all like different weather, whether you like it really hot or really cold. But that's not why I'm here today. Today I'm going to do another plot twist video. This one is Stephanie's Journey, which is season 11, Wild Moments. So we're going to get into this. So let's get into it right now.
I'm constantly thinking about food. I love just how delicious it tastes, how happy it makes me feel. It brings me to life when I eat.
Ready to be motivated, inspired, and driven to achieve your biggest goals in life? Well, if you are, then don't watch this video. Stephanie will kill your vibe. Today, I'm dishing out all the wildest details of Stephanie's journey, so grab a 64-ounce of soda, 3 or 4 pizza pies, and let's chow down on these juiciest, most wild moments of this season 11 episode. Before we get started though, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Plot Twist so you never miss a thing. Now let's get into the good stuff.
Blaine, stop doing that, baby. After I shower, my knees are grinding like rocks. When they ask you to scale 1 to 10, I'm like a 20.
Yeah, I talk about that pain a lot for bigger people who are 600, 700 pounds, or even if you're 500 pounds. And that's where the BMI chart can come into play, because you can be 5 feet tall and be 400 pounds and have the same BMI as someone who's 6 feet tall, let's say maybe 600 pounds, something like that. I don't know what that exact equivalent would be, but yeah, when you're that big, like, there's just so much weight on your body, on your bones, that everything just seems to be grinding. Your knees seem to be grinding together. Your back seems to be grinding. It's like your body was not meant to carry that much weight, and you are in a tremendous amount of pain.
One of the first wild moments of the show occurs as soon as Stephanie wakes up. Her living situation is sad and honestly kind of alarming. Her kids sleep at the foot of her bed among a pile of trash, and there's hardly any space on the floor to even walk.
I live with just my kids, but my mom and stepdad come over just about every day to help me do what I need to do.
I mean, that's really sad to live in a place like that, and the place is full of trash, and you have your kids living there. And it's like, at what point are you going to wake up and realize what you're doing to your kids? That your kids are living in a pile of trash because you've gotten so big you can't even get up and clean. You can't take care of yourself, much less take care of your kids. I mean, that's putting yourself first, right? That's putting your addiction, your need for comfort above that of your kids who are sleeping in a literal pile of trash.
Every single day, her mom and stepdad come over to help to get her around.
Not that long ago, a mass developed between her legs, and it's hard for her to walk now. It's hard for her to sleep. I worry.
That's what happens when you get a lymphedema in your legs. It makes it even harder, because that little blob of fat or mass or a tumor, whatever it is, I still haven't looked up exactly what it is. I actually started to get one on my lower abdomen as I was at my biggest. And it was weird because I knew whether or not I was losing weight or gaining weight by how much bigger that it got. It was like a hard lump. It was really weird. It wasn't like the other belly fat that I had. And so I figured it was a lymphedema that was starting to grow, just by that, because it was a harder lump. It was more like a tumor. And so I knew I was gaining weight when it just got bigger and harder. And then when I started losing weight, it's like it started going away. And so when I was kind of going yo-yo dieting and back and forth before getting into the bariatric program, I'm like, oh, I'm losing weight. It's getting smaller. It's getting softer. It's not as big as it was. And then when I turn around and gain the weight back, that's where the weight would come. It would be right in that hard spot. So I don't know if that was a lymphedema or not, but it can be difficult to get up and walk as a big person by yourself. But once you start growing these fatty, hard lumps of whatever between your legs and in other places like that, it makes it even harder to get up and get around.
All the time that she's not going to wake up, and I come and I find her not alive.
Due to the lymphedema that developed between her legs, she can't take care of herself or her children.
Her weight affects my life because I don't want to do anything without her. So
Yeah, that's something that that we don't think about either is the toll that being obese takes on everybody else around us. I mean, we can talk about how miserable we are at that size, and I get hit all the time for people saying, oh, you say you can't be fat and happy at the same time. I'm not talking about people who are 200, 300, 400 pounds. I'm talking about people who are 500, 600, 700 pounds. And the toll that is being put on your own body and your own kids. Your kids are living in a pile of trash because you can't even get up and clean for your kids. Can't even get up and clean for your room. But what about the other people in your life who have to take care of you because you can't take care of yourself? I mean, start considering other people for a change. Start considering the toll that it's taking on everybody else's life outside of your own. Like, that's something that I had to come to terms with. Just how much of a burden that I put on people's lives around me. My sister, who helped me out a lot financially when I couldn't work. My mom, who had to move in with me and did all the cooking and cleaning and shopping for me. Now it's a great joy of mine to be able to give back to my mom and help take care of her and help clean and cook and take care of my own stuff, clean my room, do stuff that I haven't been able to do in several years. So yeah, a part of what drove me to get up and get busy is knowing the toll that my obesity and my addiction put on everybody else in my life. And that doesn't even include the fear that I might not wake up one morning. I mean, that's a heavy burden for everybody else in your life to have to carry.
So I don't. I've put my life on hold so she doesn't feel bad if I go do something and she can't, because I want her to know that I'm here for her and I'll sit and wait as long as I can.
I mean, that's really sad too. You shouldn't have to put your life on hold. You shouldn't be able to, oh, I can't even go out with my friends or whatever because my daughter's going to feel sad that she's at home alone and can't go with me. Like, you shouldn't have to put your life on hold. You raised your daughter. She's an adult now. She has kids. And you're still putting your life on hold for her. You shouldn't have to be in that position.
Until she can do things again.
It's nice that her mom is so helpful, but it's a little suspicious when she says she can't do anything without her daughter. Her mom may be an enabler, but hang tight. I'll get to that in a bit.
So this gets worse. So that enabler-enablee relationship, sometimes it can come out of desperation because you need to be needed. And so you enable them and you allow them to continue being big and even getting bigger because you have that need to continue parenting them. So it's not just a full burden that's placed on the overweight person, but you yourself, as the enabler, have a need to enable. And that drive to keep them fat, because if they do lose the weight, if they do get up and start their own life and get things going, well, they're not going to need you anymore. So there's that emotional connection there that a lot of people don't realize is there. And why it's difficult to lose weight is because when you have enablers who are addicted to enabling you, well, what's going to happen to them? Well, they're going to lose that relationship, right? They're going to lose that connection that they had. So they continue trying to enable you, try to get you to continue eating. And it makes it much harder to try to lose the weight because everybody else is sort of getting in your way and becoming barriers to your own success.
The smell's making me more hungry.
Yeah, I don't know how much syrup you want on there.
I'm constantly thinking about food. I love just how delicious it tastes, how happy it makes me feel.
For her first meal, her mom brings her over one massive plate, and her stepdad brings her over another right behind her.
I mean, when you eat so much food that you need several family members to bring you armloads of food on several plates, you have your own separate table that you just stack full of plates of food. I mean, that's just a really bad thing. Like, your family is really enabling you at this point.
How, like, it melts away my thoughts. Brings me to life when I eat.
Stephanie sits down to this enormous, and I mean enormous, portion of ham. It's at least half the piglet. Besides the ham though, she also indulges in waffles, pancakes, lots of maple syrup, a huge plate of bacon and sausage, and a dozen eggs.
You ready?
Ready? We go to the bakery first?
Okay.
I'm gonna look at the cakes.
On a trip to the grocery store, Stephanie can barely maneuver through the front door.
I mean, that's a really bad sign too. When the first thing you walk into the store and you're like, all right, let's go right to the bakery. And then you start loading it up with cakes and donuts and whatever else. I mean, yeah, you should not be heading directly to the bakery first, especially when you need a cart to get around to go grocery shopping. And I'm not picking on people who legitimately have a disability and need a cart. That's not what I'm saying here. But when you have your own self-diagnosed issue and the first thing you do is go and grab some cakes from the bakery when you can't even walk because you keep making yourself bigger and bigger, that's just really bad.
But still, she makes sure she heads right to the cake section.
Anything else I can reach?
Right there, the fudge. Ice cream is my favorite.
All right, and then the pizza over there. That's all you want?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
She'll buy and eat food no matter what it takes, suffering through the pain at every step. Her willpower is honestly quite admirable, but instead of using it for good, she uses it to buy pounds and pounds of raw meat, at least 5 packages of cookies, some ice cream, and a few boxes of snack cakes.
I mean, we've seen this many times on the show where somebody is so bad off that they can't even trust anybody else to shop for them because they know what they like, they know what they want, and they're just going to go around every aisle, whatever their heart desires, they'll just point it out, and that person that's with them is just going to grab it for them. No questions asked, no nothing, just, hey, I want that. There's those cookies that I like, right up there, grab those for me. And they just grab them. Like, there's no fight about it. There's no nothing. Like, you can't even trust them to go grocery shopping for you because you don't want them to even try to get anything healthy. So the only time you get out of the house to go anywhere or to do anything is grocery shopping.
There's your pizza.
My life's completely out of control, but I know I need to lose the weight so I can live longer.
After all the temptation at the grocery store, she chows down on a couple slices of pizza and some soda for dinner.
Here you go, Mama. Thank you. Yep. I need help.
But you'd be a fool to think she's done eating, as she also eats an entire cake in bed, hand-delivered to her from her son, who is also obese. I guess she taught him well.
My appointment with Dr. Now is in 7 days, so that should give us enough time to get there, even if we go twice as slow as a normal person. I don't want to do this, but I know I have to. I just hope I can do it. Ready for this long drive?
Not really, but we're gonna do it.
On the way to Dr. Now's office for the first time, she can't resist Jack in the Box drive-thru though.
Can we stop and get something to eat?
Yes.
Yeah, many of them use that excuse of going down to Houston for going to see Dr. Now. It's like, oh, we're on the road. We're not going to pack grilled chicken and sandwiches and stuff like that. We're going to hit every fast food place on the way down there.
What to get? Can I get the number 7 large with curly fries, the sourdough grilled chicken club sandwich, and an order of the 3 egg rolls?
She eats a large number 7 with curly fries, any fried chicken sandwich, 3 egg rolls, and 2 dessert cakes. Ah, the pinnacle of health.
You hungry?
Yeah, I should probably stop. Is that a gas station?
It looks like it, yeah.
Yes.
So you know what you want?
Yeah.
I mean, is that her dad taking her to Houston? It's like, why would you ask her if she's hungry? Like, she just ate, probably. A lot of these people stop every few hours, and it takes them what would be a day or two drive. Takes them 3, 4, 5 days because they're stopping every 100 miles to get some more food. Plastered in my brain is that Stephen Asante episode where he's in the back of a trailer on a hospital bed, and he keeps calling his dad and screaming at him, like, I'm hungry, you need to stop. And it's like, every 100 miles I'm stopping for food. And that's what it's like for a lot of them. Every 100 miles, 200 miles or so, stopping many times per day to pig out on all the fast food that there is. I mean, it just goes to show how bad the enablers are.
The carne asada burrito bowl and then 2 grilled chicken tacos. Oh, wow.
Next up, she gets a carne asada burrito bowl and 2 grilled chicken tacos with some soda, all from a gas station. I can't imagine that tasting good at all, but she eats it all so fast, she probably has no idea what it even tastes like.
I started my diet. I started a little bit of exercise. The food's different. It's not as sugary and sweet. I'm not used to that. It's just...
All right, so here is where she's starting her diet now. I've not seen this episode, so I don't know what happens. And somebody suggested that I look up what happens with some of these people on the show to see whether or not they were successful. I've not done that with this episode, but I might start doing it if I do cover more my 600-pound life people. But hopefully she can stick with it. As critical as I can seem, sometimes I understand what they're going through, and I'm as hard on myself as I am on them. Because I see myself a lot in them, and I can just totally look back to having these moments myself. So I'm not trying to be a hypocrite, but I have all these regrets because I used to think the same thing, like, oh, wow, I'm trying so hard. How come I gained weight this month? like, that's just being completely delusional on my part. And I just look back and I remember those times. And then when I see them on these shows sort of continue that behavior, and I think back on it, I'm like, wow, I totally did that myself. Like, I was being delusional. So I know how they feel. I've been there. I've been in their shoes. And so that's why I'm critical on them, but I'm just as critical on myself. I beat myself up for my past behavior. And it really helps me out to sort of think about how I was before and know not to fall into those same patterns. And so when I bring it out in these episodes, I'm not being hypocritical, but I'm just really pointing out what it's like to be delusional in that state, because you're so addicted to the food that you don't even realize that you're messing up totally.
It's hard to give up what I like and what tastes good. I saw you put garlic salt, but I don't taste it.
Just changes the flavor. You don't taste the garlic.
Can you actually put just garlic in it? I eat a lot less, I've noticed now. Sometimes I want more and I'm like, just give it to me. But then I got people that tell me no.
Well, that's great. If people are telling you no, that's awesome. I'm glad that finally people in your life who was giving you more when you asked for it and when you demanded it are suddenly saying no to you. That's really a big step too.
When she starts dieting, all she does is complain about how everything tastes and whines to her stepdad that he didn't put enough garlic salt in the food.
My mom and dad were very young parents, and they both had to work odd jobs.
I mean, I can understand that. You're going to complain a little bit because you're used to eating a lot. And when you start cutting it down, it's like you're really changing a lot of your behaviors. And so you're going to complain a little bit. It's not going to be fun. You're not going to like it. It's going to be difficult. I mean, we can all sit back and watch the show in hindsight and say, wow, you're just a complainer. Why are you complaining? Just be blessed that you have food. But everything within her right now is rebelling against what she's doing because it's not sweet. It is impacting her mentally and physically. So I try to be understanding of that, knowing what it's like being in that position.
So I was left to myself a lot. But one of the ways I would get to spend time with my dad is he would take me to work driving his ice cream truck.
In this next wild moment, Stephanie bears all the sad details of her childhood.
I'd sit in the truck and eat the ice creams as he was selling them to everybody. I did feel special. I didn't feel alone at that time.
It was one of her favorite memories and primed her to become a binge eater for life.
My life took a turn for the worst when my parents split up.
Him and I had a fallout, and he left me with the kids.
When her parents split up, her dad ended up abandoning Stephanie along with her 3 brothers.
I met somebody, and I moved in with this guy. Found out he was an alcoholic that liked to abuse. I had no support whatsoever. So I called my...
Man, just a lot of these sad stories. Like, almost every single person on this show had some sort of traumatic experience, whether it was with a parent or the only time that they felt any kind of joy and comfort was like when she was talking about how her dad drove an ice cream truck. And so she would be with her dad just eating the ice creams. And so that reinforces a certain type of behavior in your brain. And then once you get outside of that situation, anytime she was with her mom or her mom was with other people or her parents got divorced and those other people abused her and was an alcoholic and everything else, like that just reinforces, wow, the only good time in my life that I can remember is when I was eating ice cream with my dad. Every other time is just miserable. And so that's sort of how it happened with me. Is any good moment that I had, like that, we were moving constantly with different people and different roommates who would abuse me and my sister, and we all just had a difficult time moving back and forth between parents, and my dad was in and out of jail, and the only moments of comfort that I found was when it came to food. And so that just reinforced that behavior in my own brain, that food was the only source of comfort that I had as I was being abused all those years. So it's very easy to take that into adulthood and then just get so out of control with it.
Husband, Stephanie's dad, said I needed help. He said, if you can get out of there and get back to California, I'll help you.
He agreed to take them back as long as they moved to California, but buckle up because this is where it gets wild.
And we made it to California, but by the time we made it to California, we got the call that he was gone. He was in an accident. Stephanie was devastated.
If that wasn't horrifying enough, Stephanie and her brothers were immediately ripped from her mother as well.
And the day I found out he passed away, they took me into foster care. Like, I lost 2 parents the same day.
Oh man, that's just horrible. That's horrible. losing my dad was such a difficult thing because I do talk a lot about how, he was a drug addict and went back and forth to jail. But when I was 13, he got out of jail and he got himself straight. And he got off the drugs and he moved to Michigan to get away from those influences. That's how I ended up in Michigan from Texas. And so we had a good almost 10 years where he was off drugs and he had a really good job and things were stable for a while. And then when he died, it was just like, oh man, just it went right back to things being unstable and unpredictable. And that's what led me to run back to food for comfort because my weight was almost stable at that time. I was gaining weight, but it wasn't fast. It wasn't anything like that. So it's just devastating to lose a parent like that.
She was thrown into the foster system all alone. She had no friends, was extremely lonely, and kept overeating to soothe the pain.
And then I had my son, my first son. We had one night together. I didn't hear from him after that. And now I have 3 kids, each with different dads.
Stephanie goes
It's easy for me to be critical, but the question that comes into my mind is, why didn't you learn from that first experience? You have 3 kids with 3 different fathers, and you didn't learn from that first experience? Then it happened again, and you didn't learn from that, so it happened again? It's like you were in full control of that situation. Why did you keep letting it happen? That you would just jump right into bed with somebody again, let it happen again, sleep with somebody without protection again, and you did that 3 different times. And now you have 3 kids who are probably having to take care of you because you're an emotional wreck. And now they're living in piles of trash because you just kept doing that, repeating that same bad behavior over and over again.
on to mention she has 3 sons, each as a result of a one-night stand. A wild fact, but sad nonetheless.
I know it's gonna go uphill.
Huh? I'll grab the basket and...
Well, you might have to push me up the hill.
I forgot it's hard on the hip.
I mean, people sometimes criticize me because I say I want to be in better shape and I want to be more ready to start a relationship because I want a family. I want to be married. And I did put in the community post yesterday. I was thinking about, should I start looking for somebody? Should I join a dating app or something like that? Because I feel lonely. I want to be in a relationship. But when I say I'm not ready yet, I'm not putting off something that I want for any arbitrary reason. There's a good reason why I want to wait. I want to make sure that I'm in good standing, that my mental health is fine, that physically I would be able to handle being a husband and a father, because I don't want this situation to repeat in my life. I don't want to still be so bad off because my weight did so much damage to my body that I can't even play with my kids, that my kids would be living in piles of trash because I could not take care of them, because I could not find a job because of my size, and I couldn't work to provide for them. So yeah, some of you are going to criticize me for that I connect happiness with a number on the scale. But that's not it. I want to be prepared for a very important thing. Raising kids is not a simple thing. She made it seem simple because all she did is go and sleep with somebody 3 different times and just had 3 kids, just like that. I don't want that to repeat in my life. I grew up knowing what that was like, seeing both parents struggle with having kids because their addictions were priority in their life, and the neglect and the abuse that came with that. So I want to make sure I'm healthy before I take on something like that. It's not just about me putting off happiness. I want to make sure I'm fine.
Yes. This is embarrassing. This is why I don't come.
Speaking of motherhood, you know what else is wild? The extent to which Stephanie's mom enables her.
The front wheels aren't all the way down, that's why I wasn't going.
Her mom enables her by pretending there was just a problem with the wheels, but we all know why the cart didn't move.
Who buys those cupcakes and chips?
I send either my stepdad or my son to the store. Sometimes my mom.
So you got the parents that are supporting your eating habit and everything else, so I don't see a whole lot of motivation to change.
When she finally does make it to Houston for her first visit, Dr. Now scolds her stepdad and mother for both being enablers, and he doesn't hold back at all.
If you keep this up, you're gonna hit 700 pounds, and after that you're gonna be bedridden, and then your health is gonna go down.
Yeah, it's like, at what point are her parents and her family just going to be like, wow, we are enabling you. We are allowing you to keep getting bigger and bigger, and now we're taking on more of your responsibility. We're taking care of your kids. We're feeding you. We're making the situation worse. And we talk a lot about the enabler relationship on this channel, but it's like if she doesn't get what she wants, she's going to throw a fit and get angry. But at that point, you're like, fine, get angry. What are you going to do? Are you going to leave? Are you going to get up and make yourself some food? Like, go ahead. Maybe saying no every once in a while, even though she's going to throw a fit, would actually benefit her.
Really quick, I'm skeptical if you're going to change anything. Nobody around you seems like is supportive of you change. Everybody is supporting you to make.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that earlier in the video. It's like that connection there is so deep that even the enablers feel like they're losing something if she tries to lose weight. So they don't seem to want her to lose weight. But later on, it sounded like, you know, she wanted something, but she knew that they were going to say no. So hopefully they do get their act straight. They do stop enabling her. But it's difficult when the enabler starts getting something from the enablee, from that sort of connection.
You're happy to eat what you want, and that's going to be a problem.
In this moment, Dr. Now gives us one of the best rants in a long time.
All right, Stephanie, it's been a long time, and we tried to call you several times and never got the answer. So what's going on with you?
I actually went to the doctor about 2 weeks ago.
So what was your weight?
When I went to see him, it was 530. I've been following your book pretty good.
You lost, if you're correct with that, 50 pounds in 5 months. That's a 10 pound a month. If you follow the book, you should lose a whole lot more than.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good sign that she wasn't doing what she was supposed to do, and she knew it, and that's why she just didn't keep up with her appointments. 10 pounds per month at that size is very minuscule. I'm losing on average about 19 pounds per month. So I don't know. People say, well, you're not trying hard enough, but I'm in a different position. You know, you should be losing, according to my doctor, about 8 pounds per month after surgery. So I've been above average according to what they expect. But a lot of people say, well, you're not losing enough compared to how big you are. And it's like I'm still figuring things out. What my diet should be, what I should be eating, what I can be eating. Certain things I can't eat, like raw vegetables. And people give me grief about that. Like, how come you're not eating vegetables? Well, I try to eat cooked vegetables, but I can't eat a lot. And my body goes into starvation mode and I plateau every single month. So it's been a difficult ride trying to figure this out, what I can eat, what I can't eat, um, but I'm not like going back and eating what I used to eat. Like, that's not happening. But there's a lot of figuring out and working out what you can eat, what's good for your stomach, what your stomach doesn't rebel at. I try to stick to something like keto, but most of the proteins that I try to eat, like chicken or turkey or things like that, like the thick proteins, they really hurt my stomach big time. So a lot of what I can eat is like ground beef. Like that doesn't impact my stomach like chicken and other meats do. I don't know why. Maybe because it is more fatty and the leaner proteins sort of aren't as fat, so it's more difficult to digest. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out, even 5 months later. So there's going to be, if you get weight loss surgery, there's going to be that adjustment period when you're going to figure out what you can eat, what you can't eat, what works, what's going to satiate you, and just learning new eating patterns, because it's not like any other diet you've ever done before. It's completely different.
Dr. Now calls out Stephanie for not losing as much weight as she should when she returns for her first follow-up. It's crazy how by season 11, the patients don't realize how smart Dr. Now is. You simply can't fool him.
Stephanie never intended to do what she needed, and now she's realizing it's not going to work, so she's quitting.
That's sad. I mean, when you're that bad off, you don't even think to consider what you're doing to your kids, to your parents, to your family, to everybody around you. Then what happens when you lose your parents? Like, then you're going to be alone and you don't have anybody to enable you. Are you going to find a man who's going to enable you? Like, you're going to go find a chubby chaser? Like, what are you going to do? Like, you're just doing something that's putting the pressure on everybody else. Like, you have an opportunity to fix your life and you don't take it. You should take the bull by the horns and charge forward and do it. it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. So many people make it sound like weight loss surgery is just taking the easy way out, and it's not. It's very difficult. But it is a tool that can help you. It takes your appetite out of the equation. You get full so much faster. But I don't know. I'm just going to leave it right here. But hopefully she figures it out. I don't know if she will. But it sounds like she's just beginning that, she failed the whole process. But anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I will be back tomorrow. I am planning a live stream with my friend Scout from the channel Nightlight. So she just finally hit 200 subscribers. So her channel is growing like gangbusters. So I'm so proud of her. But yeah, I look forward to that live stream. And there's other things coming up with the channel. So keep your eyes up. Keep looking forward to a lot of great stuff, live streams, collaborations, all that stuff is on the horizon. So I appreciate you guys very, very much. I love you very, very much. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless you.